Larry Feldman is probably the most amazing trainer that I've ever experienced in this business. I've been in the car business now for 35 years, and I've seen quite a few trainers. And a lot of them are pretty good. I mean, really, I get something out of all of them that I've seen, really. But Larry is in another class. I really mean that. His training is literally riveting. A little while back, I sat in on his first training that I ever sat in on. It was for new hires. I still remember, I'll never forget it. About 25 people in the room who'd never sold cars before. And he started to do his training. And after 2 hours, I was in the back of the room and I raised my hand meekly and Larry stopped what he was doing and said, yes. And I said, maybe we should take a break. And literally, I'll never forget it. All 25 people turned around, looked at me and went, well, okay. And they turned back to Larry. And Larry looked at me and goes, okay. And he kept going.
Good morning and welcome to NADA 2025. And I'm here live and the snow is subsiding, so that's all good. So I'm here with Matthew Davis. Is that right? Yeah, Matthew Davis. That's easy.
Yeah, that's me.
That's an easy name. So Matthew, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about Trade Pending.
I'd be happy to. Thank you for having me.
No problem. My pleasure.
Most people know of us as a trade-in tool, and that's certainly, we do that really, really darn well. But over 3 acquisitions and some new products, we try to put things in 3 big buckets. We try to make dealers' websites convert better. We try to make it easier for their sales team to sell, and we help them grow their service business. We got a whole suite of products underneath there, but that's the kind of the top level, just all that information consumers want about buying or servicing a vehicle and all the information the dealers have over here, and bringing those 2 things together. That's it in a nutshell.
Wow, so you mean conversion's an issue?
Well, sometimes not even aware that it is an issue, right? So if you've got a trade-in tool on the site or a payment calculator that takes 15 minutes and 50 pictures in a background check, and you're just used to getting a handful of leads a month, you may not even know you have a problem.
So what happens when you convert better? Does that mean more business?
In theory, it does, right? So, I mean, everybody knows this, like, you can have a great product, but if you don't have great people or great process behind it, then the great product doesn't matter. You get 300% more leads, but if you don't know how to handle it, that's no good. So we obviously see the best work when people have the process, they got the people, and then you layer some great technology on that, and then that's when things really, really get better. Yeah, if you say trade pending, most people right out of the gate think, oh, you got a trade-in tool, and that is absolutely correct. But after 10 years and 3 acquisitions, we got a suite of 8 products, everything from website conversion tools, trade-in tools, payment calculators, things that make it easier to sell, like video for sales teams, digital brochures. And from the service side, we got service offers management for website, video for service departments, and automated monthly emails, text to consumers, tracking their vehicles' value over time, service offers in there as well, too. We got a whole suite of things.
But do you have a marching band?
We have no marching band, unfortunately, but the show has one, so we're all set.
I hear they got a float too, man.
They're going to come back.
Upgrading.
They're going to come back in like 10 minutes. We're going to hustle.
So, obviously, trade-ins are part of a car deal. Am I right? So, customers aren't happy with trade value, shockingly. So, how does that make it easier for a dealer to, say, deal with that objection, or the customer to sort of have a better experience around trade values?
I think fundamentally what set us apart from day one is like, it's not just here's your value,
right,
take it or leave it. We're actually saying here's the value, here's the supply and demand in the market, here's where your car sits compared to all the comparables.
Right.
And then here's the cost that the dealer incurs to bring that frontline ready. So the consumer can see all that. They now understand why the dealer's going to pay them less.
Right.
And they can see, actually, if it takes this car 45 days to sell, do I want to actually do that myself, or am I willing to take it to the dealer and take a little bit less off the top? So that's that transparency is what really sets that apart.
So what about a dealer who says, listen, like, yeah, I love your tool, but technology is hard for me. Like, I remember the yellow pages, and that was simple. Like, how do you make it easy for the dealer who says, hey, it's cool, but I'm just not that technical?
Yeah, I think we hear that most when it comes to using video in the sales department. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, my team's just not going to use video.
Right.
And so there's a couple ways you can approach that.
Yeah.
Like, one, your competitor down the street is doing it.
Right.
You're getting lapped
Yeah.
there. 2, like, you should probably talk to them and manage them, because if it's something you really want to do, they will do it. You make them do it.
So it's your bat and ball. It's like, it's not their, like, I'd like to do it, boss, but like, it's just too hard.
And without fail, every time somebody will be in the dealership, either new people who've been there for 10 years, like, whatever. And then they do it, and then customers start responding back saying, like, oh, I saw the video. It was great to meet you. And they're coming in and they're thanking them for the video.
Right.
And they're selling more cars as a result. Like, they get over themselves really quick.
So what about integration? Like, obviously you work with CRMs and DMSs, you work with texting, obviously video as well. What about dealer who says, hey, like, I've got people who speak different languages in my store. I've got, my market's different, my product's different, my customers are different. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard these before. It's not a new question.
All the products support multiple languages, especially with the video. We've got language packs in there, so you can translate up to 100 different languages in there.
Right.
So that's from a technology perspective, it's pretty easy to fix and to handle.
Right. So what about getting set up, like a dealer who says, hey, I kind of don't want to do this myself anymore. I don't want to put it on a piece of paper. I don't want to send email. I kind of want to help the customer. Like, what does that take to set up? And more importantly, like, how quickly could they get started if they wanted to make that change?
Yeah, some of the products are super easy. You just put them on the website. They're up in 2 to 3 days. Sometimes you need an inventory feed from the CRM provider.
Right.
That stuff's a little bit longer. And if you're talking about bringing video on board, you're looking at a 2 to 3 week implementation time, because it's not just here it is, go do it. You got to actually spend time training the people. So you're walking people through the learning management system. You're walking through it. Sometimes you're going on site and helping them. It's really up to kind of both of us to work together to make that implementation time as quick as we can.
Right. And how would people find out more about, obviously, if you're at ANADA, Trade Pending does have a booth here at the show, but if you didn't make it, obviously there'll be details in the description below on the video and in the audio, obviously, as well. But if they're not at the show, or maybe, I don't know, had some weather issues this year, how would they find out more about Trade Pending, and, how do they find out more about yourself?
It's super easy, TradePending.com. Can't miss us.
Right.
I'm Matthew at TradePending.com.
Okay. So difficult email.
Yeah.
Long address. Okay. And you want to tell them how to spell it just in case, like, they don't get it?
M-A-T-T. I'm a 2T Matthew.
Oh, okay.
I don't even, those people are sociopaths.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. And first, I mean, how did you get in the car business? Like, what's your story?
I've been at this for 5 years in automotive now. My first job was weaving and selling baskets to my parents' friends. I did that when I was 10 years old. Little entrepreneur at heart.
Yeah.
Cleaned pools for a few summers.
Yeah.
Worked at Arby's for a summer.
Wow. They got the beef, I hear.
Oh my God, they used to actually cook it in the store.
Yeah.
Like, not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, then started a window washing business in college. Did that for 5 years. Sold mortgages for 3 years. Sold software for 10 years.
Wow.
Then got into marketing. Started doing the business school and all that stuff. And gosh, I was transitioning out of one company, and I knew Bryce English, CEO of Trade Pending.
Right.
I was like, all right, well, we don't really do much marketing. Why don't you come consult with us for a while? And I loved it. A, because, like, Trade Pending's a fun company.
Right.
People are good. And then just working in automotive, like, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
People are a lot of fun. And, I mean, everybody from the vendor side to the dealer side, like, everyone's just got a hustle mentality, and I identify with that.
So it's not a boring business, is that what you're saying? Yeah, it's not like a lot of accountants with like spreadsheets and.
It's so much fun, and that's why, like I love the latitude I get with Trade Pending to bring some creativity, because like dealers' lives are hard.
Yeah. Right.
They work hard. Yeah. They got long hours, and if we can inject a little bit of joy and humor and content and some education, like I got a job to do there too. But like I want to bring a sparkle to people's lives in addition to great products.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for taking the time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here.
Yep. And, of course, reach out to Trade Pending if you have questions, and enhance your trade experience and results in 2025. Thanks very much.